How to force a narcissist to leave you alone is one of the main questions that I get everywhere across each and every one of my social media platforms. I get it so much, yeah, I'm dead serious. So many people ask me, they're like, Lee, I'm struggling with narcissistic abuse. When will the narcissist ever leave you alone? How do I get them to leave me alone? And I tell people, I said, sometimes you have to force them to leave you alone. And that makes people uncomfortable because as most people think, right, as most people go, as a survivor or thriver or whatnot, whatever stage you're in, you would hope that the narcissist or toxic person, whoever you're dealing with, will just leave you the hell alone, right? You would hope that they would just leave you, get the hint, leave you be, and set you free. You would hope that would be the case, right? But that's not the case with narcissistic people because they think that you belong to them. Seriously. Let's keep it hot and ready like a Little Caesar's pizza. The narcissistic people think that you belong to them. So with that mentality, if I think that you belong to me, that means that I think that I can do whatever I want to with you or to you and have to get over it. Like, you belong to me, so that means I can have access to you anytime, whether we're in a relationship or not. I get access to you any and every time. And that's dead serious. That's literally how the mind of a lot of narcissists work. So a lot of people ask me, like, well, when will they ever leave you alone? I said, sometimes you got to make them. And I think when I say make them, some people, like, y'all might be passive people. You might not be aggressive people, not necessarily aggressive. You might have problems telling people no and standing up for yourself, which is understandable. A lot of people have that issue. It's just tough when you're dealing with a narcissist. It's tough when you have that issue of standing up for yourself and then you're dealing with a narcissist, right? That can be a rough combination because narcissistic people will absolutely take advantage of you, y'all. I'm definitely keeping it hot and ready. Like, narcissistic people will 100% take advantage of everything you have going on. So you have to force them out of your life. And sometimes, like, force means there's a few different ways you can force them to leave you alone. The first way is literally calling the police. Like, if they've been aggressive towards you, if they've been harassing you, if they are stalking you, if they have put their hands on you, if they have hurt you in any type of way like that, you might actually have a case to stand, a foot to stand on, right? A leg to stand on. You might actually have that ready to go. Seriously, this might be part of what comes next for you. You might actually have that ready to go and you can get the police involved. Now, are the police going to help every single person? No, we all know that. We get that. The police are not going to be helpful to every single person. That is just not how it works. But you still, if you have the ability to file charges or get a restraining order, you might have to do that, y'all. Believe, if I get a restraining order, they're in the army or they're in the military, it would ruin their life. They have a security clearance. The restraining order would ruin their life. I just want them to stop stalking me and harassing me and hacking my stuff and beating. You might have to go, look, if you have to get a restraining order or call the police on them, you don't have, you're not ruining their life. Regardless of how they try to slice it, it's not you that is ruining their life. They can choose to leave you alone, but they're choosing not to. They're choosing to mess with you. They're choosing to do this type of stuff to you. They are choosing it. It's not you, right? It's not you doing it. It's them messing with you. And if they keep messing with you, if they keep doing this type of stuff, then they're ruining their own life. You're protecting yourself. They'll try to make you feel like you're selfish or that you never cared about them for calling the police or getting a restraining order or doing this. No, it's on them. Their behavior has got you to this point. It's not you. How the hell is that? How the hell is that your fault that you have to call the police on somebody that refuses to leave you alone? If you look them directly in their face and ask them, like, hey, can you please just leave me alone? And they say no, or they stalk you and harass you, and they just say, I'm never going to leave you alone. You're going to have to do it. So sometimes one way to force them to leave you alone is literally by calling the police. You might have to get the law involved. You might have to get a restraining order. You might have to do that. Like, it is not your fault. It absolutely is not your fault that you would have to do something like that. They made the choice. They refused to leave you alone. They kept doing all this kind of craziness. They refused to leave you alone. So they made the choice to do it right there. So that's the mentality that you have to go into it with. You're not ruining their life. They are doing this to themselves. That's the first part of it right there, y'all. The next thing that's possible right here, y'all, of how you have to get them to leave, or forcing them to leave you alone, is exposing them. Now, I know when I said that right there, that made a lot of y'all feel queasy, right? I know a lot of y'all stomach started turning, your head might start hurting, like exposing them. Woo! Of course, before you expose them, y'all, before you expose them, literally listen to me right now. Be careful. Sometimes exposure can get them to leave you alone, because if you expose a narcissist, a lot of times they'll lick their wounds and disappear, right? Because now they're so ashamed. The shame, like their reputation is ruined. They have nowhere else to hide. People know who they are. So they will, in essence, leave you alone a lot of the time, right? But sometimes you have to think about it like this. If their identity is all they have, sometimes they might feel like they have nothing to lose. A person like that might feel like they have absolutely nothing to lose, and then they might come for you. Think about it like that. They might feel like they have absolutely nothing to lose, and then they might come for you. They might try to hurt you or harm you in a physical, dangerous way. They might become very hypersensitive and dangerous and try to come take you on up out of here. So you have to be careful with the exposure part. But exposing them for who they really are, showing the world who they really are, can help you in the long run. It really can. I'm literally just keeping it hot and ready with you. I'm literally keeping it hot and ready like a Little Caesar's pizza with you right now. This is how they're going to do. This is how they're going to work. Seriously. So you, as someone who's dealing with this person, have to understand that, like, if exposing them is the only way, hey, you might have to do it. You might have to. Like, sometimes you might have to not have to go all the way and expose them. Sometimes you might just have to threaten to expose them. Again, this can be dangerous. I know people are like, Lee, you giving bad advice that is going to get people hurt. I'm telling you, it can be dangerous. I'm literally telling you right now that exposing this person for who they really are can be dangerous to you. It absolutely can, because some of these bastards are crazy. Some of these people will lose their minds. And the thing about it is, you're not lying on them. You're not lying on them if you expose them. Like, expose them with the truth about who they are. That's not lying on them. That's why you got to think about it like that right there. You're absolutely not lying on anybody in this situation. You're telling the truth. Exposing them is not a smear campaign. Regardless of what they say, they'll try to tell you, you're smear campaigning me, right? This is a smear campaign you have going on right now. This is what you're doing. This is smear. You're the narcissist. Exposing them is not a smear campaign. If you're telling the truth, how does that make sense? A smear campaign is lies. It's rumors. It's stuff that is made up. It's trying to damage their reputation with lies and falsities. Exposing them with the truth is not a smear campaign. So don't let them convince you otherwise, y'all. Again, exposing them can get some of them to leave you alone, but it can also aggravate some of the crazier ones. So be careful when you think you want to expose them. Another way, y'all, to get them to leave you alone is to cut off all access and disappear on them. Like, you have to, forcing them to leave you alone sometimes means absolutely going no contact and blocking them, right? Blocking them over and over again. You might have to look. Going no contact means sometimes you might have to change your phone number, y'all. Because if y'all know in today's day and age, people still can use *67 or block their phone number and call you even if they're blocked. Sometimes you might have to change your phone number. Sometimes you might have to change your email address. Sometimes, if they're stalking you, you might have to change your address. I've heard people moving to protect themselves. You might have to actually change your address in order to get away from some of these crazy bastards. Let's keep it real. You might actually have to change your address to survive. Doesn't that sound crazy as hell? That you have to change the address that you've been living at for a long time, for 5, 10, 15, 20 years to survive and get this person to leave you alone? Yeah, I'm not telling you this is what you have to do. Sometimes you might have to change your whole lifestyle up because, some people are dangerous. They'll tell you straight up, I'm going to take your life. They'll tell you straight up, I'm coming. They'll tell you straight up, I'm coming for you. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. Sometimes they absolutely will. So you have to be careful. You really do. You have to be careful. You have to protect yourself, and you have to stay as safe as possible, because some of these bastards will absolutely lose their mind. Some of them will lose their cool and make you feel like you're the problem here. You're not the problem. They are. What they're doing is the problem. How they're treating you is the problem, not how you're reacting. How you're reacting is not the problem. How you choose to protect yourself is not the problem. So you need to do whatever is necessary to get them to leave you be. Exposing them can help you out sometimes, y'all, but again, it doesn't always work. Changing your phone number doesn't always work. None of this stuff always works. Sometimes you might have to do a combination of all these things. Sometimes you have to create your own pathway to forcing them to leave you alone. Sometimes that's what you have to do. If you have kids, it's different, y'all. If you have kids and you don't have a third party to be the intermediary or the middleman, it'd be hard to get them to leave you be because you still have contact through the kids. So this is my last advice in closing right here. If you don't have kids with a narcissist, don't have kids with a narcissist. Please don't. Kids don't, like, y'all, if you're on the way out, stop sleeping with them unprotected. Stop sleeping with them at all if possible. But like, don't sleep with them unprotected. Take your birth control pill. Get some Plan Bs. Do whatever it takes. Don't be on the way out. Y'all don't understand. When I do my one-on-ones over Zoom sometimes, that people will be on the way out the relationship and have to have one last go round in the bedroom and then get them pregnant or get pregnant by them and then be just feeling silly. You have to control you have to have some discipline on the way out. In order to get them to leave you alone, you have to have discipline in the bedroom, discipline on the phone calls, discipline on the social media. You have to have discipline. Blocking them everywhere, going no contact, all that type of stuff can help you in the end. But this is it's going to help you survive, y'all. Anyways, y'all, like I said, I still do my one-on-ones over Zoom. You can find my coaching and stuff like that at mentalhealness.net. Enter the code MENTAL10 for 10% off the Zoom coaching or phone calls. I do phone calls as well, y'all. Click one of these to watch another video, and I'm out. Peace.